Like most kids growing up in the early 2000s, I liked the Harry Potter series. I wasn't obsessive, but I liked it enough to enjoy the movies and books. As a kid, I played a bunch of the games as well, even the RPG on Game Boy Color. Though, to be honest, I never really finished any of them. I guess I should at some point. Anyways, overall, I enjoyed them, but stopped playing when Goblet of Fire came out, which is really the last film that I cared about regarding the series. So imagine my surprise when I found out that someone was making a game that was more aligned with the style of the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. Secret Agent Wizard Boy and the International Crime Syndicate. A bit of a mouthful, but an apt title. A crossover between James Bond and Harry Potter, which sounds like a fanfiction idea that's probably already been written, set in the reality of Gary's mod. Secret Agent Wizard Boy is a rather simple looking game, but with a surprising amount of depth. Made by the Zamaski brothers, John, Evan and David, all of whom have some big titles under their belts. John and Evan made My Friendly Neighborhood, while David, who was publishing this game, made Dusk and Iron Lung. It's an early access title, which I do tend to avoid, but I heard some pretty interesting things about this game, namely that it was supposed to be Bully in Hogwarts, so I decided to give it a shot, and it was a shot worth taking. The story is as follows. You play as Wizard Boy, a normal boy who is about to enter wizard school, but he is recruited into MI6 after hearing rumors that the headmaster, Grumblemort, is actually the leader of Spider, the International Crime Syndicate. Now, it's up to Wizard Boy to investigate the school's secret and stop Grumblemort and Spider. That's pretty much it. Short, simple, and straight to the point. Secret Agent Wizard Boy is a sandbox action game inspired by the Harry Potter games, mixed with the gameplay of Bully and the physics of Gary's mod. Your main objective is to open the dungeon doors underneath the school, which you'll need to find 6 mysterious objects hidden about to put into the slots to open it. Or you can choose not to do that and explore the school. With open world games, there's always 2 paths. You can choose to be an upstanding person and attack only in self-defense, or you can ready your wand and start firing at anyone who looks at you funny. You start off with Protify, a chargeable projectile spell, but you can find more spells by exploring the school, most of which will require you to do some puzzle solving to get them. But once you get them, the school pretty much becomes your playground. Everything and everyone in this game is interactable. Perambulate is pretty much the gravity gun. You can adjust the size of anyone or anything with Bigify and Minify, and you also have Doppler, which allows you to duplicate anything. But you also don't have to use your wand as well, as you can pick up any object off the floor and use it to beat the shit out of these kids. When you knock someone out, they'll ragdoll onto the floor, and biscuits will burst out of them. Biscuits are this game's currency, as well as the source of certain spells, which you can use to buy items from vending machines and shops. But if you do choose to attack someone, just know that everyone nearby will also aggro. And make sure you don't do anything illegal while in the sight of security cameras, because then Grumblemort's agents will come down on you. Luckily, they aren't too bad, plus they drop a lot of biscuits. There are also emblems, silver floating shields that you can find lying around that act as upgrade points for Wizard Boy, who can upgrade his stats back at his base. You can also get emblems by completing side missions. Some are pretty simple to do, while others require a bit of thinking outside of the box. As expected in a wizarding school, you can also create potions, which is where the real fun begins. Potions require a gimbal root and another ingredient. Combine these together and you get a potion that will either buff you or kill you. Put in a crystal ball and you have a supercharged potion. Or if you have the emblems, you can get metal jaws to eat raw ingredients, allowing you to bypass the whole potion making process. Potions can pretty much break the game, as you can become so overpowered that no one will mess with you. Mystic rocks are an ingredient that you can use to supercharge your spells. Just one is enough to charge your Protify into an explosion and cause people to fly into the air. If you duplicate a bunch of mystic rocks and eat them, you'll be able to blow up an entire wing. I was curious to see what happened if you drink 20 supercharged spell power potions and threw out a Protify. Just a single click turned it into a literal nuke, blowing Wizard Boy into the 2nd floor, dropping frames into single digits, kickstarted my laptop's fans, and according to core temp, caused 3 cores of my CPU to max out, which I really only ever get by playing Marvel Rivals. And when Wizard Boy woke up, he was permanently squished. Movement is pretty slow, but there is a potion that can make Wizard Boy faster. But how much faster can he go? So I went to a cauldron, duplicated a bunch of vigor shrooms and gimbal roots, and made a bunch of speed potions. Drinking them all, Wizard Boy ran like a child on crack, moving so fast that you could only stop by running into walls. There are even invisibility potions, which I don't think I need to say anymore. Now, while there is a lot of fun to be had in this game, don't forget that Wizard Boy is just a boy. He is very easily prone to getting knocked out, both from external circumstances, such as enemy spells and traps, to just knocking himself out. If you do happen to get knocked out, you'll wake up the next day, depowered, but still have all of your biscuits and items on you. And you have up until Sunday to complete the mission, or fail. Now, if you do fail, you'll restart the week, but lose all your biscuits and items. You do keep all your spells and emblems, and any progress made to the dungeon door is saved as well. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting much from this game, but it exceeded my expectations by leaps and bounds. I think the only issue that I have is that it's pretty easy to get lost in the school. Obviously, the developers are working on putting in a map, but as someone who's pretty bad with directions, I've found myself getting wrapped around quite often. There's also multiplayer, but I haven't given it a try because, knowing my experience, I won't be able to find anyone to play with. But if I had to guess, you'd probably get into a lot of shenanigans with others, or grief each other a lot. Visually, it's very reminiscent to the PS1 Harry Potter games. In fact, if I had never heard of this game, and you told me that this was a Harry Potter fan game, or someone had decompiled those games and up-res them, I'd believe you. The colors are vibrant and just very pretty to look at. Honestly, I'm very impressed at how close the developers managed to get to the aesthetics of the old Harry Potter games. The music sounds pretty close to something you'd probably hear in the Harry Potter series. It's very whimsical and light, giving off the sense that mischief can happen at any second. But when you get put into a wanted state, the music then shifts into a bombastic Bond-like track. That honestly got me pretty pumped the first time I heard it. The voice acting in this game is also pretty good. Wizard Boy sounds pretty much like what I expect, and the other kids sound like kids from the Harry Potter games, at least from what I can remember. The agents though sound like adults, which is honestly pretty funny. There are lines that are still unvoiced, but it's early access, so there's a lot of stuff they have to do. Overall, even though it's an early access style, I'd say that this game is still worth giving a try, even in its incomplete state. The freedom you're given is quite impressive, really fitting into the sandbox genre. Plus, there are a lot of secrets in this game, some of which I still haven't even found yet. This really is the Harry Potter game that I've been waiting for. It felt like the devs took Bully, set it in Hogwarts, and gave you the physics gun from Gmod and said, go up. It's a really simple game that becomes very addicting once you get a hang of the mechanics. But it does get quite demanding resource-wise when there's a lot of shit going on, so try to keep that to a minimum, unless you have a really beefy PC. I'm looking forward to seeing what else the devs are cooking up for this game. Now, by the time I put this video up, the summer sale will be long gone. But it's $15 in Australia, which is a pretty reasonable price, I'd say. Speaking of the summer sale, I bought a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff. So, this should give me more stuff to use for videos, in addition to a bunch of the other stuff that I already have. But hopefully more shorter and succinct videos like this one. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you around when I stop being a lazy asshole. See ya.